As a young adult, I lived in hopelessness, depression, and suicidal thoughts. My world revolved around me. My entire life transformed when I met my mentor, Dr. Bhaskaran Pillai, a global thought leader and founder of Tripura Foundation. The greatest gift that he gave me was to teach me to remember the poor and help the poor. I remember the day of my awakening. Dr. Pillai and I were sitting in a restaurant in the US. We had big plates full of food in front of us. I asked Dr. Pillai, "Where is joy?" He answered, "True joy is in giving back to those who have nothing. You and I have this delicious meal to eat, but many people in the world will never enjoy a meal like this. In fact, many people in the world will go to bed hungry tonight." His words struck my heart deeply, and the tears began to flow. I vowed to help the people living in the hopelessness of poverty, and I totally dedicated myself to Dr. Pillai's work. Dr. Pillai is a scholar and an educationalist who develops personal transformation courses for people. So I began organizing his lectures and seminars, and I soon was traveling all around the world with him, teaching along with him. I found myself in India, and I was overwhelmed at the poverty that I witnessed here. However, due to my commitment, I decided to jump in and take action in simple ways. We began feeding the people in the slum next to our house. Our cook prepared a huge pot of a tasty rice dish, and as I served the food to the people who came running out of their huts, I was really moved at their happiness and excitement over a meal. Then we partnered with the Rotary Club of Madras, and we sponsored 25 more boys to their boys' town, with the stipulation that we could teach all 50 boys our alternative educational program on the weekends. We were told, "Don't expect too much from these boys. These children come from very backward conditions. They can't achieve that much in their lives. Maybe they'll become bicycle mechanics." I took it as a challenge. And that's when the magic really began to happen. There was a man working for us by the name of Yadish, and I felt that he had a gift to teach children, so I asked him to teach at Boys Town. Working together, he and I first learned about the truly miraculous power of education and giving new lives to the poor. Drawing upon Dr. Pillai's most effective personal transformation teachings for adults all over the globe, we created the foundation of life-changing education for the poorest children. Now, those boys at Boys Town are grown up now, and many of them are engineers. They are supporting other boys at Boys Town. After that, we created a girls' town, and we witnessed the girls changing dramatically as well. Now, all 30 of the girls in Girls Town are in college, unheard of for their families. And some of them are actually teaching at our after-school tutoring centers. So our education for children has evolved over the years. Dr. Pillai has precisely identified the root of the problem that impacts poor children. According to him, poverty directly impacts a person's neurology, and changing the brains of poor children is the key to helping them step out of poverty. Eric Jensen, a global expert on brain-based learning, clearly summarizes the negative impact that poverty has on the structure and function of the brain. However, what excites him the most is that the converse is true. With a positive learning environment and brain-based learning strategies, we can positively impact the brains of poor children, actually changing their brains. Dr. Andrew Newberg is a leading neuroscientist at the University of Pennsylvania, and he supports this further. He teaches that your thoughts directly impact the neurological functioning of your body. In fact, positivity is essential for maintaining a healthy brain. Our brain-changing education is based on positive thoughts and a new positive identity that we inculcate in the children and reinforce with an innovative sound technology. Our sound technology is called Phonemic Intelligence, and the children practice it only 10 minutes per day. These phonemes, or very small and simple vowels, just very simple vowels, are vocalized while focusing on certain parts of the brain. These phonemes actually have inherently built-in principles of intelligence. We just recently finished a pilot study at Brain Science International in San Francisco, and we used EEG recordings to measure the impact of our sound technology on the brain. The EEG recordings clearly showed that there was a signature sound wave for every sound that we studied. What was even more interesting is that we showed that the sounds actually activated the most important part of the brain for compassion. It's called the Anterior Cingulate. The Anterior Cingulate is right below the cortex, or the uppermost layer of the brain. Now, American parents are very interested in the anterior cingulate because they want this part of the brain to be larger and more active in their children. Research has shown that in people with lesser social skills, this anterior cingulate is actually smaller in size. Now, Dr. Andrew Newberg highlights that the anterior cingulate contains a special class of cells that are found only in human beings. These cells are called the von Economo neurons. And these neurons play a very important role in developing social awareness skills, integrating thoughts and feelings and behaviors. More specifically, the anterior cingulate has been shown that when activated, we can feel empathy and compassion. So our research shows a new dimension to sociology. We call it the neurology of compassion. Compassion is not merely a cultivated behavior, but compassion is a neurological fact. I have been searching for a tool where we can teach people compassion so that they can help one another. And we need a tool beyond preaching and counseling. So now we have a scientific tool that actually promotes compassion. And the primary trait that we see in all of our children is compassion. Today we have 83 after-school centers throughout India that serve almost 3,000 of the most underprivileged children in very remote and rural locations. We're also running pilot programs for over 350 underprivileged children in the US. And we are opening after-school centers in Mexico. And we're witnessing phenomenal transformation in the lives of these children. They're becoming leaders in their schools and communities. Most of them are teaching our sound technology and principles of transformation to their family, their friends, and their classmates at school. They're helping the elderly and the poor and the disabled in their communities. Their acts of compassion range from the simple, such as sharing a meal with a hungry classmate, or the heroic. So now I would like to share with you a video where our children speak for themselves about their love for compassion and how they love to help those who are even more unfortunate than them.
என் பேர் பிரசன்னா. நான் 7th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் படிக்கிறேன். எங்கள் ஊர் கண்ணன்கோட்டை. நான் ஒரு நாள் ஸ்கூலுக்கு போகும்போது கூட்டமாக இருந்தாங்க. அப்போது ஒரு ஆயா தண்ணி மயக்கம் போட்டு ஊந்துடுற மாதிரி இருந்தாங்க. பாவமாக இருந்து பார்க்கறதுக்கு நான் வீட்டுக்கு போயிட்டு தண்ணி எடுத்துகிட்டு வந்து திறந்தேன். குடிச்சிட்டு போயிருக்கு. எனக்கு பசிக்குது, சாப்பாடு வேணும்னு கேட்டாங்க. நான் வீட்டுக்கு போய் சாப்பிட்லான்னு சொன்னேன். வீட்டுக்கு வந்து சாப்பிட்டாங்க. கொஞ்ச நேரம் ஓய்வு எடுத்து அப்புறம் நான் வெளியூர் போனோம். என்கிட்ட காசு இல்லை, காசு இருந்தால் தர முடியுமான்னு கேட்டாங்க. நான் சேர்த்து வச்ச காசில் 20 ரூபாய் எடுத்து கொடுத்தேன். பஸ் ஸ்டாண்டுக்கு எப்படி போகணுன்னு தெரியாமல் அங்கே நின்று இருந்தாங்க. என்ன பாட்டின்னு கேட்டால் பஸ் ஸ்டாண்டு போகணுன்னு தெரியல. நான் போய் விட்டுட்டு பஸ்ஸு எடுத்து விட்டுட்டு வந்தேன். என் பேர் மாதவன். நான் கண்ணன்கோட்டை ES செகண்டரி ஸ்கூலில் படிக்கிறேன். ஒரு நாள் வீட்டிலேருந்து ஸ்கூலுக்கு போகும்போது ஒரு தாத்தா தடுமாறின்னு இருந்தார். அந்த டைமில் பசங்கள்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு உதவி செய்யாத போயின்னு இருந்தாங்க. அந்த டைமில் நான் அந்த தாத்தாவை பார்த்து, நான் தாத்தா அண்ணன் உடம்பே முடியல தம்பி, ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கு வழி போகிறதுக்கு தெரியலன்னு சொன்னார். அந்த டைமில் இங்கே இருந்தா நான் போயிட்டு டீச்சர்கிட்ட பர்மிஷன் கேட்டுன்னு வந்துடுறேன் சொன்னேன். டீச்சர்கிட்ட பர்மிஷன் கேட்டுன்னு வெளியில் வந்து அந்த தாத்தாவை ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கு கூட்டின்னு போயிட்டு மருந்து கொடுத்து ரிட்டனும் பஸ் ஸ்டாண்டு இட்டுன்னு வந்து அந்த தாத்தா ரொம்ப களைப்பாக இருந்தார். டீ வாங்கி கொடுத்து, என்கிட்ட 10 ரூபா தான் இருந்தது. டீ வாங்கி கொடுத்து எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச ஆட்டோவில் அவர் ஏற்றி அமைச்சிட்டேன். அவர் ஆட்டோ ஏற்றி அமைச்சிட்டு ஸ்கூலில் நாடா தம்பி என்ன சொன்னாங்க ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் அதெல்லாம் டீச்சர்கிட்ட சொன்னேன். சொல்லிவிட்டு டீச்சரை நான் பாராட்டி பசங்களெல்லாம் இது மாதிரி தான் உதவி செய்யணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க.
So let's use these children as our role models. We can all learn to remember the poor and take action to help the poor. There's 5 easy ways that you can get involved today. 1, feed a meal to someone. Even a sandwich or a samosa given with love and a smile can bring hope and comfort to a hungry person. 2, support a charity. 3, share your talents. You may have a flair for fundraising, or you could start a used clothing drive, or talk about charity on your social media. You can even teach a child something you know. 4, ask others to participate. You are doing the greatest good for your friends and your family if you invite them to help you in serving the poor. 5, remember that we are all one family. If we all just took care of one another, we can create a different place of this world. I have a dream that we can create a world based on compassion, filled with compassionate people that care for one another, that feel the pain of the suffering of their fellow human beings, and take action. To me, it's a vision that seems like living heaven on earth. And when I witness the compassion of our children, I have great hope that heaven on earth can be a reality. And I have great passion to bring our brain-changing education to all children all over the world. Through brain-changing education and the neurology of compassion, I truly believe that a world without poverty is closer than you think. I invite all of you to join me in realizing this dream. Thank you.